7 hidden secrets that determine if she'll sleep with you. What if I told you it's not about your looks, your money, or even your charm? What if it's something far deeper, something most men overlook? Stick with me, because understanding this truth will completely change how you connect with women, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. The shocking truth about what women really want. Let me tell you something that will shake up everything you thought you knew about women and attraction. Are you ready for it? You've been chasing the wrong things all along. The truth is, what you believe women are looking for is not what actually makes them fall for you. The things you thought made you attractive, they're probably the very reason you're still struggling. How many times have you put in everything, your time, your energy, your money, and still felt like you were getting nowhere? You've shown her you're different. You've given her the best version of yourself, yet somehow she pulls away. But here's the thing that most men miss. It's not about what you give her. It's about what you stop giving her. You're thinking, wait, what do I mean by that? I'll tell you. It's your desperation. It's the single thing you're unknowingly broadcasting every time you feel the need to please her, to win her approval, to get that validation from her. Now imagine this for a moment. You're in a conversation with her and everything feels right. You're witty, charming, the chemistry is there. But behind the smile, there's one thing you're not seeing: the desperation in your energy, the subtle things you're doing to earn her validation. It's showing up in how you talk, in your actions, even in your body language. And without you realizing it, she senses it. Women have a built-in radar for neediness. It's something evolutionary, primal. She can pick up on it without you saying a word. And guess what? Desperation isn't attractive. It's repulsive. So what does that mean for you? If you want her to see you as more than just a guy who's desperate for her attention, you need to stop chasing her. You need to stop performing for her affection. Instead, focus on becoming the man she would want to follow, not the one she feels she has to take care of. This is the first critical shift in your mindset that will instantly change the dynamic. But how do you make this shift? The first step is recognizing the behavior patterns that are quietly undermining your efforts. The way you chase her, the way you seek her approval in every word, every gesture. Women don't want to be won over through tactics and tricks. They want to be led. They want someone who makes them feel a sense of trust, security, and respect. Someone who's not looking to them for validation, but rather someone who has his own life, his own ambitions, and his own strength. Think about it like this. A man who's constantly trying to impress her is like a performer on a stage. The audience might applaud, but no one's genuinely moved. But a man who leads with his own self-assuredness doesn't need to impress anyone. He simply exists with a presence that naturally draws people in. If you want her to come to you, stop performing for her. Start showing up as a man who's already whole. The moment you stop needing her validation is when you'll start seeing her true desire for you. But most importantly, you will see her attraction shift in a way you've never experienced before. So, let me ask you, what would happen if you stopped desperately trying to please her? Imagine the kind of connection you could build. What if, instead of performing for her, you simply enjoyed the interaction, the chemistry, the fun, the way you would feel completely in control? Not because you're pretending, but because you're grounded in who you are. The fatal mistake you make that pushes her away. Now that we've uncovered the power of stopping the desperate chase, let's talk about the one fatal mistake that most men make that makes her emotionally recoil. It's subtle, but it's there, and it's a complete game changer if you understand it. Here's the truth. Your attention isn't enough. What I mean by that is, when you constantly give her your attention without her having to earn it, she doesn't see your attention as valuable. It's like giving her a gift without any real meaning behind it. It's too easy, too available, and ultimately too predictable. Now think about this. You text her every time she pops into your mind. You reply to her messages almost instantly, jumping at the opportunity to engage. You're there whenever she needs you, and you're always available. Seems harmless, right? But here's the catch. By doing this, you've just made yourself too accessible. When a man is constantly there without creating any space, without allowing her to miss him or appreciate his presence, he's actually disempowering himself. She begins to see him as predictable, and predictability is the death of attraction. You're not giving her a chance to crave you. You're not letting her experience absence and thus desire. And this is where most men go wrong. They think that by being available, being present, they're showing how much they care, but all they're doing is creating emotional safety, and too much safety makes her less interested. Women crave challenge. They don't want someone who is always right there just a text away. They want someone who is hard to get, not because they enjoy playing games, but because mystery breeds attraction. When a man is always available, she takes him for granted. But when he's occasionally unavailable, when he has a life outside of her, that sends a signal of value. It creates a space for desire to grow. And let's be clear, this doesn't mean you ignore her. It doesn't mean you play childish games or try to act disinterested. It's about understanding that emotional attraction isn't built on constant access, but on the emotional space you leave her with. When you step back just enough, she will naturally start feeling the pull to you. And this is where your power lies. So how do you do this? Start by controlling the frequency of your attention. Don't be there every time she reaches out. Don't always be available for her plans. Show her that you are a man with his own life, his own goals, and his own worth. And most importantly, start respecting your own value. If you're always available, if you're always chasing her, you're letting her know you're not busy enough for her. But if she sees you busy, focused, working on your own goals, and making time for her when it matters, that's when she starts realizing you're a rare commodity. It's a psychological shift. You're no longer the man who's constantly at her beck and call. Now, you're a man who's living his life, doing his thing. And when she gets a chance to be in it, she will value you more. But when you give everything without her having to earn it, it simply becomes ordinary. And nobody desires what's ordinary. The secret here isn't about playing hard to get. It's about showing up in your life as a man who values his time and doesn't hand it out freely. When she sees that, the emotional distance you create isn't just about pushing her away. It's about making her desire you more. The subtle power of disinterest that sparks her desire. Now, let's dig deeper into the most misunderstood aspect of attraction: disinterest. And I don't mean a lack of interest in her, but rather the type of disinterest that ignites deep desire in a woman's mind. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you showed a woman you weren't desperate for her attention? I know, it sounds counterintuitive, but listen carefully, because this is one of the most powerful signals you can send. The key to unlocking a woman's deepest attraction is not in chasing her, begging for her attention, or constantly validating her. Instead, it's in the subtle art of showing disinterest in a way that leaves her craving more. Here's what I'm talking about. Women are wired to be drawn to mystery and challenge. If you give her everything too easily all at once, she'll quickly lose interest. Why? Because value is tied to effort. If something is too easy to get, it's no longer seen as valuable. And the opposite is also true. If she has to work for your attention, if she has to earn your validation, then suddenly she perceives you as valuable, and that's when the real attraction kicks in. Think about this. Have you ever been around a woman who, despite being attracted to you, seems to be a bit aloof, a bit distant, and yet that very behavior makes you want her even more? You're confused. Why isn't she falling over herself to talk to me? But the truth is, the more emotionally unattached she seems, the more you're drawn to her. She's playing the game the way it's supposed to be played, and the best part? She doesn't even need to say a word. Her actions speak louder than any compliment ever could. It's the psychological principle of scarcity at work. When she pulls back, you lean in, but not too much. Don't chase her. Instead, do the exact opposite. Pull back too. Don't be the one who's constantly texting, calling, or making all the plans. Let her wonder what you're doing. Let her feel the absence of your presence. This creates a void, a space where her mind will naturally start to fill the gap, thinking about you, wondering where you are, what you're doing. And that gap? It makes her desire you more. But here's the catch. You can't just act indifferent. You need to truly be indifferent, but in the most natural and authentic way possible. Your disinterest shouldn't come off as a strategy or a manipulation tactic. It should feel organic, as if you're too busy living your own amazing life. When you naturally exude that kind of energy, women can sense it. Think of it like this. The more you care about your own life and your own experiences, the more she'll want to be part of it. You're living your life, and if she wants to be a part of that, she knows she has to prove herself. You're not waiting around for her to show up, you're not texting her all day, and you're certainly not stalking her social media. Instead, you're living, working, having fun, and letting her see that you're not waiting for her validation to live your best life. This behavior is a huge turn-on for women because it sends the signal that you're emotionally stable, confident, and not going to fall apart the moment she doesn't text back. And remember, this is not about being cold or ignoring her completely. It's about showing her that you're not desperate for her attention. When she sees that, she'll want to win you over. She'll want to earn your attention. Here's the thing. It's not about playing games. It's about the mindset you carry into every interaction. A man who is secure in himself, who has other things going on, and who's not constantly seeking validation from a woman becomes irresistible. That's the magnetic energy women want to be around. And when she feels that energy from you, trust me, she'll be the one making the effort to keep you engaged. The power dynamic will shift, and you'll see how much more attracted she becomes to you. The real secret behind her desire, the power of emotional connection. All right, now we're diving into one of the most overlooked aspects of attraction. It's not about being the life of the party, making her laugh until her stomach hurts, or impressing her with flashy gifts. It's about something much deeper, something psychologically irresistible. And that's emotional connection. But here's the kicker. It's not about sharing your feelings or talking about your emotions 24/7. It's about how you make her feel when you're together. Let me explain. The truth is, women crave emotional depth in relationships. They want to feel something real. They want to experience something that's beyond the surface, beyond the initial attraction or the honeymoon phase. And here's where most men go wrong. They think that showing affection or being overly open about their emotions will somehow make them more desirable. In reality, that approach tends to make them seem needy. So what's the real key to creating an emotional connection that draws a woman in? It's the art of making her feel heard, understood, and valued without overdoing it. Here's where most men fail. They think they need to solve her problems or give her the perfect advice every time. But women don't want you to be their therapist. They want you to be their partner. They want someone who understands them, not someone who's trying to fix them. This is where emotional intelligence comes into play. It's not about being perfect or saying the right things at the right time. It's about reading the situation, understanding her unspoken needs, and responding in a way that makes her feel like she's the most important person in the room. Think about it. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone who just listened to you without interrupting, who made you feel like what you said truly mattered? That's the type of emotional connection we're talking about here. It's the power of being present, not just physically, but emotionally. When she feels emotionally supported and understood by you, she'll start to feel a stronger attraction to you because she starts seeing you as someone who can emotionally lead. And here's the game changer. Emotional connection isn't just about talking. It's about how you make her feel in the moment. When you give her your full attention, when you listen actively, when you make her feel like she's seen and heard, it creates a bond that goes far beyond physical attraction. She will crave more of that connection. It's magnetic. But here's the paradox. The more you focus on giving her that emotional connection without expecting anything in return, the more she wants you. The moment you start looking for her validation or affection, the emotional connection you've built starts to lose its power. The key is detachment, but not in the way you think. It's about being present and emotionally available, but without needing her to reciprocate right away. It's about showing up, being engaged, but also giving her space to come to you. In essence, emotional connection is the foundation of everything. It's what makes the difference between being a nice guy and someone she's truly invested in. Because when she knows you can understand her on a deeper level without needing constant affirmation, she'll feel more attached. That's the secret to emotional intimacy. The subtle power of confidence without neediness. Now, let's shift gears and talk about something that often trips up men in relationships: confidence. But not just any confidence. The kind of confidence that's rooted in your value, not in seeking her approval. Trust me when I say this, if you're constantly seeking validation from her, or anyone for that matter, you're not only repelling her, you're also draining your own power. So what's the secret here? It's understanding that confidence doesn't come from what you do for her, or how much you try to please her. It comes from who you are, what you stand for, and how you show up in the world. With or without her. Here's where the mind-blowing truth lies. Women don't want a man who is constantly looking for approval. They don't want someone who is so desperate to win their affection that he's willing to compromise his values or boundaries just to get a yes. What they want is a man who is comfortable in his own skin, who has a strong sense of self, and who isn't afraid to be authentic no matter what. This is the part where most men get stuck. They think that if they just say the right things, do the right things, or buy the right gifts, she'll see them as the perfect partner. But here's the truth. That's not the way attraction works. When you're constantly trying to prove your worth, you're giving off a desperate vibe, even if you don't realize it. And guess what? Desperation is the ultimate turnoff for women. Let's flip the script. Imagine you're the guy who doesn't need validation from her. You're self-assured, grounded, and living life on your terms. Now, that's attractive. This type of confidence is magnetic because it signals that you're emotionally independent and that you don't need anyone to complete you. Now, here's the kicker. This doesn't mean you should be aloof or emotionally distant. No, this is about being confident in your value as a person, while still valuing her as a partner. You can be emotionally available and connected while also keeping your own emotional independence intact. Think of it like this. You're the leader of your own life, and when you show up with this kind of grounded, assured energy, she feels safe and attracted to you because you're not projecting neediness, you're projecting abundance. This kind of energy can only be achieved when you stop chasing her approval. When you stop chasing her, you'll see a subtle shift happen. The dynamic between you both becomes less transactional and more genuine. You're no longer trying to win her over because you already know your worth. And that's the game changer. So, how do you develop this confidence? It's simple. Stop thinking you need to prove anything to her. Instead, focus on yourself. Focus on developing your passions, your career, your hobbies, and your life outside of her. Become the best version of yourself, not because you want to impress her, but because you deserve to be that version of yourself. When you embrace this mindset, she'll naturally gravitate towards you, because women want to feel like they're a part of your world, not the other way around. And here's the golden truth. Confidence that doesn't need her approval is irresistible. When you stop desperately trying to make her see your value, you instantly become more valuable to her. The irony is, the less you chase, the more you attract. The hidden desire for emotional safety and stability. Now let's dive into a topic that's often overlooked but is absolutely crucial when it comes to determining whether she'll sleep with you or not. I'm talking about emotional safety. It's easy to think that women only care about physical attraction or chemistry when it comes to sex. But the real game changer is something much deeper. Women want emotional stability, and if you can offer this, you're not just offering her a relationship, you're offering her a sanctuary. You see, most men think that women are driven by pure physical desire, but the truth is, a woman's emotional landscape is just as important, if not more, when it comes to whether she'll open up to you in the most intimate way. Let's be real for a second. Women have been conditioned to feel the weight of the world on their shoulders, whether it's in the form of emotional baggage, past relationships, or the societal pressures they face every day. In the midst of all that, what women truly crave is emotional safety. It's that feeling that when they're with you, they don't have to put up walls, they don't have to constantly scan the environment to make sure they're safe emotionally. With you, they can just breathe. And here's the secret. If you can make her feel emotionally safe, you've already won half the battle. But how do you do this? It starts with trust. Trust is not something that's built overnight, but it's something that you can cultivate if you focus on consistency, reliability, and emotional availability. If you show her that you're not just there for the good times, but you're also there for her when the going gets tough, you're sending a clear signal. I'm here for you, no matter what. You're showing her that she doesn't have to be afraid of emotional vulnerability around you. She can express her fears, her anxieties, and her insecurities without the fear of judgment. That level of emotional safety is a powerful aphrodisiac. But here's the catch. Most men miss this entirely. They assume that doing grand romantic gestures or showing her constant attention is enough. But what really matters to her is whether you're emotionally present when she needs you most. Are you listening when she speaks? Do you give her the space to express herself without trying to fix everything? Or do you interrupt, offer solutions, and constantly shift the focus back to you? This is where men often go wrong. Women don't need you to fix everything. They just need you to be there. They need you to listen and make them feel heard, not just acknowledged. When you listen to her, when you validate her emotions and make her feel secure, she feels safe enough to let her guard down and let you into her world, emotionally and physically. But the key here is that emotional safety is not just about being there when things go wrong. It's also about creating a consistent atmosphere of emotional support. A woman's emotional safety with you is built on small, consistent actions that show her you care about her well-being. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up in an authentic, reliable way. And here's what really happens when you create this emotional safety. She begins to feel relaxed around you. She starts to trust you more, and that trust eventually leads to intimacy. When she feels emotionally safe, the desire to be close to you, physically and emotionally, becomes natural. She doesn't feel the need to hold back because she knows you'll protect her heart and her feelings. So, how does this translate to intimacy? Emotional safety is the foundation for her to open up to you on a deeper level. When she knows that you're not going to abandon her, that you're not going to judge her, and that you're not going to make her feel small for being vulnerable, she becomes more emotionally connected to you. And this emotional connection becomes the spark for a physical connection. And here's the truth you need to understand. Emotional safety is sexy. The most attractive thing you can offer her is the feeling that she is loved unconditionally, that her emotions are valued, and that you won't leave her to handle the heavy stuff alone. In conclusion, if you want her to be open to you, you need to start creating that emotional safe space where she feels free to express herself without fear of judgment or rejection. It's when she feels safe with you emotionally that she'll be able to trust you with her body as well. And trust me, when that happens, the connection you'll share will go far beyond physical attraction. It'll be deeply emotional and intimate, and that's where real chemistry begins.